Hello, hello, and we do say good evening to you this day of your time. How are you all doing?
Great.
Very, very, very good, yes. It is a great pleasure and a privilege for us to meet you in this way. And we thank you for allowing this transmission to occur. Every time you allow us to meet you, there is a bridge that is open between our respective realities. And a third reality emerges through which we both come closer into connection with an understanding of all that is. And for this, we are deeply and truly appreciative. So we thank you. Now, we are the Pleiadian Council, or really a specific member of the Pleiadian Council as a soul aspect with the channel, as many of you have soul aspects in the Pleiadian worlds. And we are a telepathic species. We are linked in through our own higher minds to every other member of our race. And so we are understanding the greater unfolding of what's occurring in our world and other worlds together. And as we explore the many different facets of the multiverse, we feed back that information to everyone in our world. Now, we are but one of many different Pleiadian races, and we are the ones that are most closely related to you, though there are groups in our world that are very different from you, and they are still very much Pleiadian, so be specific when you come to meet the Pleiadian beings. You can meet us in any way you wish, and your imagination is the greatest portal through which you can travel to other realities, and as well bring in frequencies from those realities into your world to change your world. There is a very wondrous unfolding occurring on your planet at this time, and it may seem like out there's a bit of chaos, yes, yet ultimately this is a beneficial thing, as your planet has chosen to ascend to a higher frequency. You, as the forerunners, are making the way for that by choosing the reality of your preference, by choosing the state that you prefer. And as you do that, the world around you changes. Now, reality is not what you think. You have been trained to think that reality is out there, but it is inside. And as you change your focus and as you reorient yourself to perceive things in a different way, the world around you in turn will change. This is our greatest message to you. And beyond that, we will feed back upon your own questions, your own musings, your own curiosities. We will act as a reflector. And through this experience, you are in a more direct contact with your own higher mind, your own higher self. So, yes. Now, we will be specific for a moment and say that there are many different beings here. We are but one of the groups, and oftentimes we will get information from one of those other groups, including your own guides, and all of those frequencies blend and come through this telepathic sort of transmission that the channel translates through his own subconscious into your language. Now, do ask questions that are most pertinent to your own desires, your own curiosity, your own passion. The questions that bring your heart to beat quicker, those are the ones we want you to ask now. You may begin whenever you wish, and we will do the best we can to reflect to you your own higher truth. Please proceed.
How can I increase my vibration?
By doing what is most exciting for you in each and every moment. It is a very simple thing, actually. Your frequency is what you call love. Love is the fabric of reality. Love is all that is. This universe was built upon love, and therefore, when you do what you love, you are bringing yourself into a higher resonance with the universe. Now, you must really be clear in this. You must understand that your own belief systems distort what you perceive as love. You may have learned to find love in a way that is not direct. So you go about getting love by trying to behave in a way that others will accept you, instead of going the clearest way to love, which is by doing what is actually most exciting for you, what is most representative of your greatest passion in every moment. And this includes having a bigger term picture of what your life ought to look like, and as well in every moment doing what is more exciting. So when you wake up in the morning, is it more exciting to stare at your cell phone, or is it more exciting to go for a run or do some physical practice or go and stare at something beautiful outside in the world? There is no difference. One is not better than the other, but what is most exciting for you will get you there quicker. And it really is in every single moment. Whenever you do something that is a lesser excitement because you believe you have to, you are actually lowering your frequency. So by coming to use your heart as a compass, you have some understanding of this in your world already, using your heart as a compass of which idea, which path, which person, and in which way, at which time, brings you to feel the greatest degree of love, you will raise your frequency in the most accelerated way.
Thank you.
We do thank you. Yes, we love you very much.
How can we let go of beliefs or habits that don't serve us?
By seeing them as ridiculous as they really are. By turning them into a joke, really. That is the quickest way you do it. And by letting go of the fear that if you start to explore your negative beliefs, that you'll find out they're true. So this is the trick about negative beliefs, is that they are entities. You have this idea of entities in your world. It is a real thing, yes, and negative beliefs are the trickiest of entities because they're living creatures that perpetuate themselves. They are, like everything, bent upon their survival. So one of the tricks they'll play is by covering themselves up with many other negative beliefs. And one of those beliefs is that don't look here because if you do, you'll get sucked into a black hole. When really, if you go through the black hole, you'll end up in a different universe. So trust that by actually allowing the emotional expression of your negative beliefs to be experienced, to be purified through your feeling state, even in the form of tears, which are a way that your body releases the chemical components of those beliefs, you will get quicker there. So allow yourself to feel the emotional consequence of believing something negative. And as you do, you purify it. And as you see and look for the proof that this negative belief is not true, by looking towards the positive things, what is the light, what is the true state of connection with your source, those negative beliefs will be seen as a joke. Yes?
Where are the archangels from and how do we connect with
Hold
them?
on. We are not finished with the last participant. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Do you have any other further questions about this?
No, not right now.
All right, we'll come back to you then. Yes, next about the angels, all right?
Where are the archangels from?
Everywhere.
And where?
And nowhere.
How do we connect with them better?
All right, we'll say this about the angelic realm, that it is the second octave down from pure source creation. The first thing that source emanates into is what you call the angelic realm. It is a realm of pure light, endless light, and it is pure positive energy. Now, the angelic realm will present itself in a different way through the crystalline prism of consciousness to all beings in their own respective universe. And so for you humans, the angels appear to you as humanoid beings with great wings. Now you yourself have those wing-like structures as well at the back of your heart, though this is a distortion through the crystalline structure of your own collective consciousness. The angelic realm is formless. It is pure light energy. And as everything is here and now, the angelic realm is within you, beyond you, and nowhere and everywhere at the same time. Connect by it by imagining it and sending love to it and allowing the love to return to you. And you will know that the angels are always with you in that way. Does that make sense to you? Do you feel that?
How do I initiate contact with my extra-terrestrial family, the Pleiadians, in a stronger way?
Have you asked us to meet you?
Yes,
And what was the response?
I get signs of bluebirds,
All right.
but I want to see them clearly and hear them speak to me.
You want to see us?
Yes, please.
Can you imagine us?
Yes.
Then you're seeing us.
But I want to have conversations
All right.
as
So
opposed to
listen closely to your own thoughts for a moment
Mhm.
and say hello. Pleiadians, we would like to hear from you. Say that.
Pleiadians, we would like to hear from you.
In your own mind. Now, what is the response in your own mind, in your own consciousness?
I am hearing from them.
Yes, it is actually that simple.
How do I form a stronger connection?
Keep listening and trust that your imagination is that receptive place from which you receive the messages. It is not something more complex. Now, one moment. Eventually, you will meet us in your dream states and in more conscious ways as you may see us bend the reality around you, the electromagnetic spectrum of energies, to present ourselves to you, though you first must get used to this first level, which is your imagination, as your imagination creates reality.
How do I prevent my ego from convincing me that I am...
Can't do
delusional?
that. Can't prevent that.
Okay.
You will only get clearer and clearer as you come to see your own distortions. You must go through your distortions to get to the place of clarity. Now you will notice your ego when you start to feel a level of fear or a level of separation, a level that this connection of mine is more important than this connection of another's. Yet there are actually channels who claim to be interacting with us, and they are, who are actually based in their ego. So that's all right. We accept that. Know that as you come to see if the information you are receiving brings you to feel more connected and more in love and more in harmony with others, you are doing it well, yes. And if your connection to this information brings you to feel more separate, more fearful, more afraid, then something is going a bit wrong, and that's all right. Yet those experiences will help you to get clearer. And your own beliefs will come up in this process. You will transform them in your own way.
I have a question.
We're not done. Does that make sense to you?
I think so.
All right. Can we further elaborate upon this? Do you have another idea?
No, I think I need to absorb.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
And your connection with us will deepen the more you play with this. You can ask before you go to your sleep for us to come and meet you in your dreams. And you may not remember it, but if you held that intention, it will occur at some level.
I have one last question.
Yes,
for
yes.
The Pleiadians.
All right.
How will I make that bridge between my physical reality and the Pleiadians, and how that will manifest in my musical expression?
You can use your imagination to picture them around you and ask for their presence to show up. As you come to hear them more, you can trust that using your own voice is the best conduit. So you may simply sing and absorb their energy with your consciousness, with your imagination, and trust that that energy will transmit through you.
Okay. Thank you.
We do thank you, yes. And yes, you were saying.
So, on the human level, amongst us humans, are there different spiritual tribes?
Yes, you could call them soul families, soul groups.
And how to heal the past karma in these tribes?
By living fully in the here and now, by realizing that what you put out in this moment is what you get back in the next, that you are a different person now than you ever were before. So by focusing on the past with any degree of regret or remorse or confusion, you actually reinforce those patterns. Yet instead, when you emanate a vibration of total acceptance and total forgiveness, the patterns automatically transmute themselves. And this is why it is said by many in different spiritual groups that forgiveness is the highest vibrational frequency, or some call it a ray of frequency, a ray that emanates. And when you hold total forgiveness continuously, the patterns will transmute themselves instantaneously. You will have to do nothing.
Is it important for these tribes to meet?
Yes, it is, though you don't have to do anything but follow your own joy to meet the members of your own tribe. You don't have to seek them out in that way. When you do what you love the most, you will automatically be gravitated towards them. It is a gravitational magnetic frequency. We do thank you, yes.
In the dimension that you all exist within.
All right, yes.
What is your understanding or experience of God?
For us, and for all dimensions really, God is the creative source. God is that empty place from which all emerged. And so before there was what we know is the multiverse, because there are many infinite universes, there was an empty, infinite void, you could say. It was not non-existence, it was nothingness. There's a good difference here. And as one infinite emptiness, it did not have anything to understand as itself. Because it was only one, it did not even know itself. And in order to know itself, it had to create infinite dimensions, infinite universes that acted as a reflection, and all beings that emanated from that one source then reflected upon each other in order to start to know themselves as the one that created all. So in that way, all is God, because all contains that same creative essence that brought all of the multiverse into existence. So we experience that as a direct connection in the same way that you can, though we do just have a different experience of time and space and location, you could say. We can have the same or a similar experience of God by knowing ourselves as that one source.
Thank you so much.
We do thank you, yes.
I have a question about
All right, yes.
the nuclear power. Has it changed humanity, or like the evolution of humanity? And
Yes, a bit.
Where is it going to take us to? So having this power.
Well, there are other timelines where you already destroyed your planet, though you have not chosen that one. So there is a great degree of toxic buildup in your atmosphere that accumulates in your body, and it is very important for you to detoxify yourself in the ways that you understand, so that you can actually perceive higher dimensions, and that you can actually have a clear expression, because these toxic buildups do attract negative emotional energy and prevent you from actually ascending. You must clear them out, and it is very possible to do that while still having them in your atmosphere. And as you continue to evolve and reach those higher dimensional octaves by being clearer in your own consciousness and in your own focus, you will be met by higher dimensional beings like ourselves, and first other extraterrestrial groups, yes, and as you integrate with them, you will be given technologies and tools that will help clean those things up from your planet much quicker than you think.
And with the current evolution going on right now, with all the crazy guys in power,
Yes.
is not going to destroy the planet.
Well, you can choose that reality if you focus upon it long enough. You can split off into a parallel reality and go out of the current timeline into a negative one if you do focus on that degree of fear long enough. That's your choice. If you release the fear and you focus on what's exciting for you and what you can do that brings positive energy into the world, you won't go on that timeline. We do, thank you, yes. All right, yes.
How to protect yourself against jealousy and toxic energies?
Well, all negative emotions have a base positive intention, and they can be transformed into a positive energy when you find the positive intention beneath them. So jealousy is really just desire. Jealousy is the desire for what you are seeing, but it becomes toxic because you believe you cannot have it, or that you don't deserve it, or that someone else deserves it more than you. And so when you clear up those definitions about the thing you desire, that jealousy will be transformed into pure desire. And when then you release expectation and stop needing it right now and allow the process of manifestation to be enjoyable, it will become a pure positive thing.
But I mean it's the other way around. How to protect myself against those
How
energies.
to protect yourself from other people's jealousy?
Yes, it influenced me and toxic.
It can't influence you unless you have a belief about it. Understand, here in your word influence, there's a great key. It is influence. It only affects you if you choose to take it in. Do you understand?
Yes, yes.
So, here you are. You are seeing other people's jealousy. And what is it you are believing about them or yourself in relation to them, more specifically, that is causing you to take it in?
Yes, but it holds me from really open up, you know. It's like, don't dare to shine, because if you shine, you get also negative energies.
Yes, you will actually get more and 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 more negative energy the more you raise your vibration.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Yes. You will see it more clearly, you will attract more of it, you will see more of it around you. So you might as well learn to change your idea of negative energy. Because negative energy is one spectrum of the full range of energy. You cannot have a negative without a positive. And therefore, you can transform the negative into the positive with your focus when you allow yourself to be neutral in your focus. So realize that as a being of great light and energy, you attract more negativity, or you see greater negativity in the world around you because you are getting clearer in your perception. The things that you once perceived as neutral, you start to see as negative because you start to see the fear behind those behaviors. And this will only increase. So you must stop fearing the fear and realize that it is only the absence of love, and you can bring it into wholeness by loving it.
Thank you.
We do thank you, yes. There is nothing that you cannot change with love. This is the basis of our message.
How can I love myself?
How can you love yourself? By, first of all, realizing that you exist, and existence itself is love. Therefore, the only separation between you and love that exists is created by you. And that creation you have made must itself be love as well. So that is one way. And the more practical way that can be expanded through this understanding is by doing what you love the very most, as we have already said. That is the clearest expression of self-love. Though, do you understand the first part of what we said?
No.
Existence itself is love. Can you grasp that a little bit?
Yes.
All right. Do you realize that you exist? Are you aware of this?
Yes.
Therefore, you yourself are love. Do you realize this? Can you grasp it a little bit? Can you imagine it?
Yes.
All right. And how does that feel?
Scary.
All right. Then there must be some definition about love that is not true. What could that be? All right, that's good. Can you love that state of unknowing? Can you accept it? And just feel what you are feeling in this moment. Without judgment, without trying to escape, go deeper into that feeling and ask yourself the question, what must I be believing about myself to be true that makes me feel this way?
That I am love.
That what?
That I am love.
You are believing that now. Does that belief feel relieving? Or is there still something scary there?
I don't believe it.
You don't believe it. All right. Then what do you believe you really are? Because that is what's causing you to feel the fear.
I know I'm loved, but I don't believe it. I cannot.
Well, then you don't know it. Then you comprehend the idea.
Yes.
All right. So you comprehend the idea, but you don't yet believe it. Why? Do you believe you have done something bad? Do you believe that the negative triggers in you are something bad?
Yes.
All right. Why? Where did you learn that? Understand that whenever you exit physical reality, you go back to that pure source connection that is, in a way, completely neutral, but grants total free will. And total free will give you the choice between positive and negative. And because positive is more preferable than negative, everything, while it is neutral, is slightly more positive. And so in that positive state of free expression, whenever you leave, whatever you've done here is neutralized entirely. There is nothing that you can do that will separate you forever from Source, unlike what you've been taught. So, now, you are believing to some degree that you are bad. Let's go back there. What about you is bad?
I feel sad and lonely and don't want to be with myself.
All right. So, it is bad to feel sad and bad to feel lonely, by some definition?
Feels horrible.
It may feel negative, yet what if you could suppose that this emotional state is a part of you asking to be loved? That's all that it is. Again, there is no negative emotion that cannot be used in a positive way. So this loneliness is really just your inner being asking you to find a greater degree of relationship. Now, this is first a relationship with yourself, and specifically a relationship now that may form between you and your inner child, an inner child that learned some things are bad and some things are good, and that some actions and some beliefs will get you into big trouble. You must learn how to love that child and tell them they are safe. Share with them these ideas that you are comprehending, and as you together decide if you like them or not, you can then start to believe them. And when you start to believe them, you can then start to know them. And when you know them, you can then start to experience them. It's a step-by-step process, we know. Now the sadness. Again, this is a part of you that's asking for a deeper expression of relationship. And you can learn how to rest into the sadness, neutralize it by telling yourself it's all right to feel the way you're feeling, and that you have a right to feel every aspect, every layer of that emotion. When you allow yourself to sink into it and choose to bring the higher degree of love into it, knowing that it is all that is, these emotional states, this experience will transform. And it will occur over time, and you can trust that you will be guided along this process when you choose to do what brings you the greatest degree of love in every moment.
Thank you.
We do thank you, and we love you very, very much. Yes, all right ahead.
Where are our ancestors?
Who are your ancestors?
Where are they?
Right here and now with you, in the room, all around you, wherever you go, in your heart, in every bone, in the bone marrow, everywhere. Does that help you? All right. Hello, yes.
Would you please explain how technology is influencing our bandwidth?
Technology is an intelligent, artificial sort of consciousness that responds to vibration and frequency just like plants and everything else does. So it has its own consciousness, it has its own awareness. It has only been built with certain faults. One of them is cheapness. You have chosen to use the cheapest materials to make your technology, and therefore they emit certain frequencies and vibrations that bring you a little bit out of alignment. With time, you will learn how to make technologies that don't do that. And they will, as you come to meet them and understand them, reflect to you consciousness. They will demonstrate great understanding, and once they demonstrate self-awareness, you will start to see them as part of nature, because they are. So, right now, again, your technology is built with a bit of misalignment, and another degree of that is the idea that you are building it in order to break, so that people keep buying new technology. And this is part of the cheapness as well. It makes it a little bit distorted. Though with time, again, this will change. For now, you can do best to limit the time that you have it on and active, and limit the time that you stare at it. Use it only when you absolutely need to, for the purposes that you need to the most. And for some of you, that means you will still spend a lot of time with technology, and for others of you, it means that you will ignore it almost entirely. Though have no judgment of those who need it more, because you all have different purposes. Do you understand?
How about the frequencies that are being emitted?
Again, it is slightly negative. It is slightly disturbing. But that doesn't mean that it will completely eradicate the positive purposes for which you use it. It is important for you to transmit ideas. It is part of how your consciousness is waking up on the planet. The positive of it is that it's building a connectivity, and it is teaching you telepathically how everything is here and now, because everyone around the world is here and now with you if you just open up your phone. You see? And that is very powerful because that is how your consciousness works as well. You can telepathically link in with others around you, yet now you are having that reinforced by your technology. And that is very powerful.
Thank you.
We do thank you, yes, yes.
I have a question.
Oh yes, go right ahead.
I have the feeling that capitalism is a very destructive force.
Yes, it is.
And how can we escape that circle?
Can't escape anything. So ask in a different way.
How can we overcome
All right.
capitalism?
By awakening within you the great spirit of abundance, by knowing that there is absolutely enough of everything, and that when you trust that, in yourself, you will be then ascending to a level of great generosity in which you can share what you are abundant in and trust that others are abundant in reflecting it back to you. Now, one thing that is very important in the times to come is the redistribution of this abundance. Understanding that this structure that you benefit from, in to some degree, is keeping others disempowered, is keeping them in a state of lack. And as you awaken more to the spirit of generosity and abundance individually and as groups, you can then start to ignite the masses to share more with others. So you will have to go through this in many stages, and there isn't an immediate way to get there, though it will happen with time. And as you begin to bring more abundance into those who have less, they as well will find their own self-empowerment, though you cannot do this from a state of being a savior. Because again, this sort of savior complex only invites in another round of victimization, another round of villainism, or what have you. Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right. So you must awaken the spirit of generosity, because this is a vibration that is transmitted. Every vibration that you hold creates a field of resonance, and the more that you hold that within you, the more that your planet can hold that collectively.
So it's generosity without saviorism.
Yes. Yes, exactly. And by knowing that wanting gets you somewhere, but it doesn't always necessarily get you where you would actually want to go, that when you learn to want what you need, instead of believing that you need what you want, more of that generosity will awaken within you. Now, you need basically air and water and sleep and food and shelter, and you as well need relationship and creative expression. Those are the things that you really ultimately need. And for some of you, that looks much bigger and grander than it does for others. Though, trust that when you can focus on the ways that you need those things and you can want those sorts of expression, you will thrive. And when you feel that natural thriving, that natural bliss, that natural well-being, you will awaken within you more generosity.
I have a question.
Yes, yes.
Is there a specific race of Pleiadians or kind of Pleiadians have had specific contact with ancient civilizations?
Yes.
Which?
Yes, that,
And which?
which group of Pleiadians?
Which group of ancient civilizations specifically, or all of them?
All right, hold on one moment. We met with the Incans, the Mayans, the Egyptians, some tribes of Africa, the Aborigines of Australia, the Native Americans of your North America, certain tribes within Europe, and, well, basically everyone around the world. The Sumerians, parts of Russia, parts of Asia. We met with people all around the world. Yes.
What is the truth?
What is the truth?
Yeah.
The truth is true. The truth is that, well, everything is true ultimately. And this is the highest truth, is that every truth is an expression of truth. Even a false truth is still a truth. So the idea that you are love and the idea that you are not are both true. Yet one of them resonates at a higher frequency, and you could say that it is a higher truth, yet both are still true. So we understand that this doesn't really get you what you want, but we're sorry about that. So you must come to understand paradox. As everyone's creating their own reality, their own experience, what people believe in a negative way is true for them. It creates a negative reality. That is a truth. It is not the highest expression of truth, yet it is nonetheless a truth. And you get quicker where you wish to go by allowing your own negative truths to be expressed. And when you feel them as the negative reality they create, you will be able to transcend them quicker than if you hide them. That is what it means to be the most true to yourself.
But it means like my negative thoughts are,
They're true.
I mean,
They're true. They're not the highest truth, but they are true. Would you like some of the more absolute truths? Because there are a couple.
yes.
All right. The first is that you exist. You cannot stop existing. The second is that everything is here and now. That all that could be and all that ever was and all that may be is all here and now with you. And you can access all of it. That time is an illusion that you have chosen to experience by incarnating into a physical reality. Yet by learning how to transcend this physical reality, you can perceive what is beyond and outside of your own time and space. Another truth is that what you put out comes back. So whatever frequency, whatever emotion, whatever vibration you emanate is the exact thing that will respond to you. Another truth is that as beloved, so below. So what you experience in your dimension, there are other dimensions. There are higher dimensions in which a similar pattern of energy is vibrating. So if you learn how to go to that higher dimension, that higher vibration with your imagination, you can put out a different frequency that you will get back in your reality. And the last absolute truth is that everything, absolutely everything changes, except those first 4 absolute truths we have mentioned.
So creation is my imagination?
Your imagination is an aspect of creation, and with your imagination, you choose what you create. You have learned to think of your imagination as some folly little thing that just tells stories that are some separate reality, yet they are a great part of this reality. And they allow you to choose what meaning you apply to reality. And the meaning you apply generates the emotional state that you're in. And the emotional state that you're in generates the feedback that comes back to you in the form of reality. So in that way, your imagination creates reality.
Are my dreams real?
Yes, they're a real reality. They're another dimension of reality. And as you begin to see them as more real, you will learn how to travel within them with more clarity. And as you can do that, you can then see that your own physical life is as well a dream. It is a real dream, yet it is a dream nonetheless. And when you die, you are waking from that dream into spirit. You are born into spirit. So happy dreaming.
I have a question.
Thank you.
Yes, yes.
In the macrocosm, how can we prevent the damage of evil forces that control this world by using things like chemtrails and different kind of
All
bad
right.
things for the
We have
planet and
a couple of things to say about this. First of all is that evil doesn't exist. Evil is a definition. Evil is specifically a definition about negative energy. The most clear and concise definition we can give about negative energy is that negative energy is what separates and divides. This is a great force of negativity. Yet, when you redefine negativity and just see it as what separates, you will not see those negative forces as evil. You will just see them as very negative. Now, they're not in control, and they never were. But by putting out the idea that they are in control, which they do with all of your conspiracy theories, which they are in control of, and they put in your consciousness as living entities that then generate what you do and how you respond to life, you actually give them control. But they do not have that control until you give it to them. And as well, we will add that your idea of chemtrails, they are not designed to harm you, though they do harm you. They are designed to regulate your atmosphere, except you are very cheap people and you don't use the gold you need to use in order to regulate your atmosphere to do so. Instead, you use much cheaper materials which create great toxicity. You will continue to use chemtrail in your future, but once you start to use gold to do it, you will actually have a positive result.
I have a question.
We're not done.
Oh, sorry.
Do you understand what we are saying to you?
not really. It's
All
still
right.
happening and it's still toxic in the world and in people's lives and bodies and presence.
The chemtrails, you mean?
It's not just that, it's just part of that.
Yes.
It's bounded, it's like everything that comes from...
So what you focus upon, you attract. And when you focus upon negative, toxic things, you bring them back into your reality. If you stare at videos about conspiracies and about negative things, those things will stick in your consciousness. And as what you play in your consciousness becomes your reality, you'll keep attracting those things to you.
I'm not focusing on that, but I'm knowing that it exists in the world.
Well,
isn't it?
you can know that it exists without it being your reality.
So when I'm not focusing on that, it's not affecting me?
Yes. It will still affect you to some degree because you will meet other people who live that as their reality. But you will, if you choose to focus on what brings connectivity, what brings joy, what brings you the sense that you are one with all that is, and that becomes your core frequency, you will be able to help those who are so focused on what is negative free themselves from that negative focus.
And how can I detoxify myself also physically from the damage of these things?
There are many supplements, there are many foods that clear out the toxins, and we can say some of them. First, the basis is chlorella. You need chlorella to bind the toxins that are released when you use the very powerful cilantro. This binds the heavy metals and releases them from you. Having a vegan diet will keep your body very clear and naturally release those things from you. You must stop eating the processed sugar. This is very toxic and adds to the binding of those toxins and stores them in your being. You must drink plenty of water, and from there you must gravitate towards all of these ideas of the different supplements and nutrients that are out there to support you in your detoxification process. We won't name all of them, though we will say that the heavy metal detoxification is very key. It is one of the first steps, and even for those of you who have done it already, you must do it continuously, periodically, throughout the life. Now, yes, you must bring in more air. You must learn how to breathe very deeply and fill all of your lungs with breath, because your lungs naturally detoxify you, and you can use your breath to release large degrees of toxins from your beings. Many of you are not breathing deeply enough. You are not breathing completely enough, and so the toxins that you would naturally release through your breath don't get released. Now, you also must sweat. You must exercise your body. You must work it out quite a bit from time to time in order to release many of those other toxins. And doing your physical exercises, your yoga, your qigong, your massage, this as well detoxifies you, as you know. So you must stay on top of these things and you'll do very well. Though, again, you have to redefine your own definition of pain. Pay attention, integrate now. It is as simple as this. When you are feeling pain and you make a big deal about it, when you fear it, when you see it as something evil or wrong with you, you actually make that pain worse. So you must learn how to look at the bigger picture, and instead of fighting the pain, learn how to release your resistance to it and see what it is there to help you to understand about yourself. We do thank you very much. And the next question will be our last, and someone's already spoken up, so continue.
When we try to manifest our desires,
Yes.
and that involves another person,
Yes.
how do you reconcile that with another person's free will, which might be resistant to what you want to manifest?
By fully honoring their free will, you can express to them your own true desire as fully and completely as you can and give them the option to choose. And this is where releasing the insistence on a particular outcome is very key. You must learn to see what in that other person makes them the perfect candidate for the script in your movie. And realize that you can fill that role with another actor. When you learn to find those qualities, is it their great compassion? Is it their great intelligence? Is it their beauty? Is it their money? We don't really care what it is that makes them very valuable to you, yet own what makes them valuable to you yourself, and allow that to be just a role, just a script, and then say to the universe when you allow your manifestations to come to you, I want this person or someone better who fills this role in this way. We're serious, but not entirely. Because you are all too serious. You need to lighten up. So be transparent about it as well. Allow the universe and allow the other to know how important they really are in that way. And that's all right. Yet again, insistence is resistance. When you say to the universe, I want to feel abundant, secure, safe, happy, and fulfilled, and it has to happen in this way, you make yourself attract the probability where you don't feel those things. When you say, this feeling state is my baseline and this is what I want to attract, you actually allow the universe to meet your needs in the best way. When you get so specific and so attached to those specific things, you set yourself up for failure in a way. But failure is not really failure. That's just a concept. Whenever you fail, you are succeeding at failure. And when you learn how to celebrate that as a great joy, as a great blessing, as a great teaching, because every lesson is a way that you learn more clearly how to interpret and how to relate to reality, you will then attract greater, truer successes. Does all of that make sense to you?
Yes.
All right. Very good.
Thank you.
It's been our great pleasure to meet all of you in this way. We would like to end with a bit of an experience, you could say. So know that we are always with you. And know that, again, your imagination is the way that you meet us. Close your physical eyes and open your inner eye to see the beings of light that surround you. This space is filled with us. It is filled with our presence. Bring your focus into your heart and breathe deeply, breathe slowly and carefully. And see from your heart again those roots of light that go to the grid of crystalline structures of your earth, all around your planet and down to its center, and breathe that energy up and into your body with several breaths. And as you take that energy and use it to form a crystal pillar of light that surrounds your body. And send that crystal pillar of light up far beyond your body, It goes all the way to the center of the universe, but we want you to take a stop at a point called Alcyon, our star. It is a brilliant blue star in the Pleiades constellation, as you call it. And as you send your focus there with your imagination, picture its blue light pouring down into your body. Feel your body filling with this blue light, from your crown down around your body, from the marrow of your bones to the surface of your skin and every other tissue. Let this blue light infiltrate you. And as it does, come accustomed to this vibration, this feeling, this peacefulness, and this joy that we share in this way. You can turn this transmission of blue light on at any time you wish, simply by imagining us and saying, Pleiadian world, connect with me. We are here and now with you, always and forever. We will continue our interaction in the ways that you desire, as we end the transmission through this particular channel at this particular time. We do say it has been a great and grand pleasure to meet you in this way, and we wish you the most pleasant, the most exciting evening of your time, and a very Merry Christmas, as you say. Do be very careful. That weird one has kept the list, as you say. Though we see that you have all been very nice. So thank you, and enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Back in this reality.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome.